These are little walnut accent pieces that are going to go right here on the edge of this countertop. And this is obviously a breadboard. And in past videos, you saw how I prepped these tenons and these drawbar pegs and glued it and left these two with no glue so that this countertop area had room to expand and contract. So obviously here we have to deal with the expansion and contraction as well. This breadboard is really not going to expand and contract in this direction. It will a little tiny bit in this direction, but what we're concerned about right here is in the countertop, this sometimes is going to be a little bit lower and sometimes a bit higher. Right now we're in spring, which is halfway between winter and summer, which are kind of the two extremes of your expansion and contraction. And so it's a good time, and I flush cut this right now. So at one extreme, this is going to shrink a little bit, and at the other seasonal extreme, it's going to be a little bit higher. So I want this to go inside of here, and it's going to stick up 1/4 of an inch and just have that little bit of walnut poking out, which is going to match the walnut pegs that I have right here. What I'm going to have to do is notch out this side of this little walnut piece right here. So as this expands and contracts, it doesn't push and pull and crack this. And I'm also not going to put any glue on this side and only put the glue on that side. So that side will hold it, and then this one can kind of move freely. So I'll slide this walnut piece in, and this is the halfway mark. And I'm just going to come a little bit past the halfway mark, just in case there's some movement and expansion, contraction for whatever reason. I don't want the side that I'm not cutting to be a little bit past, because then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. And this part can move up and down, and we'll start to push this up and down. So by having it just a little bit off center right there, no matter what, as this moves up and down, can basically move up and down on this accent piece right here. So I'll pull that back out, and that was our line right there. And we don't have to do very much. I'm just gonna kind of come here and go more or less like 1/4 of an inch, and then we'll just trim that off. And then I can come over here to the King bandsaw, and I'll just slide my fence over right up until it lines up with that line I just made. And then I can lock that down, and then I can grab this smaller bow push stick right here, just so I don't get my fingers anywhere near that blade. Then I'm just going to move this fence out of the way, and then I can grab these pieces and just trim off that little bit. And then we're left with a shape like this, and then I'll put some glue inside here, and this side will go in, and then it'll get hammered down, and there'll be about 1/4 inch sticking out, and then this side will be free to move up and down on this piece of walnut.